Okay, so here's the situation. It's Teotihuacan and the SHTF because of an HEMP, which caused an OTGE. So you call your EOTWBFL and tell them, grab your BOB and put it in your BOV. We need to GOOD and get out of here ASAP before the Golden Horde gets to your front door and your SOL. And don't forget to BYOW and your MREs, because if not, YO. Now, does this make sense to you? Well, I hope so, because if it doesn't, as you're reading these articles, you might be SOL. Alright, seriously, there are quite a few prepping acronyms that we all see all of the time, and not to mention all the OMGs and LOLs that we all have to learn and if we want to understand our teenagers, for those of you that have children. Some people hate these acronyms and some people use these acronyms all the time, but regardless of where you stand and the more you read, the more you're going to see these all over the place. And I'm not going to go through every acronym and every term that you're going to hear, because if I did, this video would take like an hour to watch. But I am going to go over some of the terms that you're most likely to hear as you begin to educate yourself about preparedness. And I also have a PDF that you can download that's got the complete list on it and a lot more that I don't mention in this video. But keep in mind that I did my best putting this list together, because there's a whole bunch of them, and I'm sure there's more out there and more getting created every day, and I'm sure there are even some that I haven't even heard of yet. So let's dive into this list, so hopefully when you are reading an article or doing anything on the internet, you don't have to stop and look up what, say, Teotihuacan means or SHTF or all of that stuff. So Teotihuacan is an acronym for the end of the world as we know it. That's exactly what it means, the end of the world as we know it. And it doesn't necessarily mean doomsday or Armageddon. It's something that wouldn't actually kill us, but it would change the way we need to live our lives from day to day. To our kids, Teotihuacan might be losing their cell phones, and this could be the same for some adults too. Although when I think of Teotihuacan, I think of having to survive without power or water or heat or anything like that. Teotihuacan is also synonymous with SHTF, stuff hits the fan, or WTSHTF, when the stuff hits the fan. And I'm using stuff instead of the other word, but you guys get what I'm saying. But regardless of which word you use, if you don't prepare, you might need to get out of Dodge, or you could be SOL at that point, and that's S out of luck. A few others you'll see are BOB and BIB and BOV and BOL, and all of these terms involve bugging out. You have a BOB, which is your bug out bag. You have a BIB, which is your bug in bag. You have a BOV, which is a bug out vehicle, and a BOL, which is a bug out location. So why would you need to bug out? That's a good question. If you live in an urban area, you're more likely to be surrounded by the Golden Horde, which is basically swarms of people that are kind of flipping out and want what you have and are coming towards a town near you. Now, the Golden Horde is made up of the Pollyanna, or the sheeple. These people kind of blindly follow the masses and are in denial about world events and what's going on right in front of their face. Or it could be because of an economic collapse that causes fiat currency to become worthless, and you need to have some junk silver because your money is going to be basically toilet paper at that point. Now, an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse, could also cause an economic collapse because it would cause a GDE, a grid down event, or an OTGE, an off the grid event. An EMP could be caused by a CME, a coronal mass ejection from the sun, or a Carrington event, which is just a larger coronal mass ejection, or even an HEMP, which is a high altitude magnetic pulse. But fear not, my friend, because if you have a Faraday cage, which is used to shield electronics from an EMP, your iPad will still work, although the internet probably might not be working at that point. All of this could cause our government to enact martial law because WROL. Without rule of law, the Golden Horde and the Pollyannas would be after our long-term food storage, and we don't want to be in their LOS, line of sight. Now, you don't want to bug out with just the clothes on your back because it's SOP, standard operating procedure, to have a BOB or a 72-hour bag ready to go. You might use an Alice backpack as your BOB, which can also come with the Alice framework. Alice packs were created by the military to reduce the load on the infantry during combat situations and distribute the weight more evenly. These days, the military uses the MOLLE system. And what the MOLLE system stands for is Modular Lightweight Load Carrying Equipment. And the MOLLE system is modular because of the use of its PALS, Pouch Attachment Ladder System, and allows you to add storage space in different compartments and stuff. And kind of on a side note, you might not want to use the Alice frame for your BIB because a bug-in bag is for getting from where you are to your BIL, bug-in location. These could be stored in your car or taken with you whenever you leave your home. Personally, I use the MOLLE system, but the choice is yours, and price really plays a role in this as well. Along with the medical supplies, water and weapons, and survival gear, you might want to have some MREs, meals ready to eat, and some C-ration, combat rations, in your bug-out bag and ready to eat along the way. And try to avoid anything from Monsanto because it's made from GMO, genetically modified organisms. They're growing super tomatoes, and to me that just seems weird. So FWIW, for what it's worth, if the SHTF because of an EMP or an OTGE, well, basically YOYO, you're on your own. And you won't be able to depend on FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management System, or ARC, American Red Cross, for your safety. You need to take survival into your own hands and have a BOB or an INCH. And I'm Never Coming Home kit that you can put in your BOV to get to your BOL or isolated retreat. A bug out location, but better. It might be a good idea to get a ham radio license or even a crank radio, JIC, just in case you have no other way of communicating with people around you. Now, if you're in a GDE, you might want to have some fiat currency or some junk silver on you because you won't be able to go to the ATM. And even if you are able to go to the ATM, the chances are if it's a economic collapse, there might not be any money in the bank for you anyway. So this is a long list, right? Honestly, this probably doesn't even cover all of the terms and acronyms you're going to hear, but it gives you kind of a good idea and a good starting point so you don't have to Google every single term or acronym that you come across while you're reading articles and learning about preparedness. So I put together a PDF with all of these different acronyms and terms and everything for you to download, and then you can go over those on your own time. But anyway, I appreciate everybody listening to the video, and I hope you guys learned something from it, and we'll see you next time.